So I wanted to practice approaching girls on a bike, but there were a couple obstacles on my way. First, the weather was not nice at all. It was cloudy, windy, and cold. And usually, no, always, I like to bike when it's sunny, when it's nice out, because biking for me is like relaxation. I can escape from all the hassles of life. And for me to go biking in this weather, it's definitely telling me that I'm not going to bike. I'm going to first meet girls while I'm biking. And so on the one scale, I put biking in a nice weather, and on the other scale, I put meeting strangers who can be surprisingly friendly or can be complete assholes and just reject me, or maybe they're just in a bad mood. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I put equal weight on both of these sides, but that would mean that I'm going against myself. So I did not convince myself to go out, because of course I value biking in the fine weather more than meeting some random stranger. So I had to convince myself otherwise. And there was one podcast that I really wanted to listen to for a while. It's about basketball strength and conditioning. And at the moment, I'm not really playing basketball because I've been injured. So I need to get my basketball in through some way. And so I decided I'm not going to bike while listening to podcast. I'm going to listen to podcast while I'm biking. So biking is not the main action here. The main action is listening to the podcast, and biking is I'm just gonna bike not to relax but to not stand still. So basically to burn calories, let's say. And that actually convinced me, and I found that if I see some interesting girl I want to talk to, I'm going to approach her. So that would be a bad thing to go biking just to see the girls, because it can be seen by your body language. You're just like looking at everyone. Who I want to approach, who I want to approach. Now I hope they were able to see that I was listening to something, and as a side note, I saw a girl and approached her, but I realized that people probably don't know that I'm listening to the podcast. They assume that I'm listening to the music. So when girl sees me and I'm going one direction and come back after her, it might seem that I have no actual business going, that I'm actually biking just to meet girls, and that makes me look needy. So I didn't think of that. I was the only one who knew that I was listening to podcast, not looking for girls. But anyways, there was another obstacle. I had to choose how to approach them, from the behind or from the front. And if I approach from the behind, it's pretty clear what my motivation was. Imagine you're a girl and you're just walking and some guy approaches you from behind. The first question you asking yourself is, why did he approach me, right? The only information he knew about me is what my behind, oh my god, my behind looked like. So the motivation becomes instantly clear. He was just attracted to my butt or something, right? So I decided, okay, I'll just try to approach people from the front. So I see someone, make eye contact with them, and then turn around. But they got even more scared after this. So I saw a girl crossing the street. She had such beautiful eyes. Like, I thought it would be cliche thing to say, but actually the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. And she kind of smiled at me, so I decided to turn around to try my chances. And so I'm biking right next to her. She's like looking at me forward, and then 2 or 3 seconds pass before she realizes that I'm actually looking at her, that I want to talk. And I stutter so much. I'm so glad that I took courage to talk. I mean, to say that compliment, because I would have never known how much I stutter. Every single word came out bad. So I said, it's not a, it might sound like a cliche thing to say, but you have very beautiful eyes. I just wanna to return to see those beautiful very eyes again, something like that. And she was walking in normal speed, but then she started walking a little bit fast. She said, "Thank you, but I'm really, I'm really in a hurry, and I have a young man." Uh, and so this hurry, clearly I can keep up with her speed, but I realized that of course she doesn't want to talk to me, because keeping up with her being in a hurry would not be a problem. So I said, "Oh," but for some reason I started to justify myself. No, no, that's just a compliment. Okay, nice compliment. You can go. And then I just kind of went. I didn't want to insist or on anything. And then on the way back, that kind of ruined my experience. But now what I decided to do, I'm not gonna seduce myself too much. I'm not gonna look around and choose. Like, if there is girl on the other sidewalk, I have to cross the street and go talk to her. That would be too much effort. So I've been listening to the podcast, so my brain was focused on that. And I decided to keep the focus on it and only actually look closely at the people that I would definitely talk to. If there is someone going against me that I know that I'm not going to stop, like there is no way how, no matter how beautiful she is, no matter how interesting, I know that I'm not gonna stop because maybe it's not an easy stop for me. It will look like I'm going out of my way, so I would not look at that side of the street, and that made things easier. There was another girl that I thought of approaching, but again, she was there from behind, and I didn't want to make it look like I only approached her because of her behind. So I just kept going to my crosswalk, and then she changed direction and kept going to my crosswalk, and then we're just standing there. I'm thinking, oh, I'll just make some conversation like, hey, how's it going? But she was on the phone, and we crossed street once, twice, thrice, four times. All this time it was just us on the island. Oh my god! But she was on the phone, and in this case, I don't know what to do, because maybe the girl's on the phone because she is too bored and doesn't wanna walk by herself, or maybe that was an important conversation. So next time I will try to talk to the girls who are on the phone, because they will either reject you because they're having an important conversation, or they are very bored and they will actually like it more if some stranger on the street talks to them rather than personally phone. Although if I just say how is it going, it's not gonna be much entertaining. Although it is a new person, but yeah, so that's how it went today. And I'm very glad that I decided to not look too much and make listening to the podcast my main goal.